Hello YouTube, welcome to this next episode of the ultimate review around the world with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And today we are in Norway and we are going to go take a look at Orland Airport in Norway. This is a joint military and civil airport that is in Norway, has been in existence for quite some time. So while we load up the airport, let me talk a little bit about it. Orland was started in 1941 by the German Wehrmacht, and they built the initial runway. But by the end of the war, this airport had been taken over by Britain's Royal Air Force and then shortly thereafter handed over to the Royal Norwegian Air Force. So this was an Air Force base, and it remained in use as an Air Force base for quite a while. Occasionally, back in the 1950s, Widerøe and other airlines would um, have some services in here, and then later on, further in the 60s and the 70s, Widerøe, Brathens would have occasional flights. Currently, the airport is served by Danish Air Transport with their ATR-42s. So not a large airport by any stretch of the imagination. It's a smaller airport, but um, so let's take a look at what this airport looks like. It looks like the sun is already going down, so let me change the time here a little bit to get us into more favorable time. And as we scroll around, look around, fully auto-generated buildings, or rather AI generated buildings, lots of little hangars, little parking areas for the military to park their fighter jets. Each of these round things either have a fighter aircraft or they have a helicopter parked. Just one long taxiway and a fairly longish runway. The runway that is currently here is about almost 9,000 foot. So it's quite a long runway. The terminal building is itself pretty small. It only has a capacity of handling about 50 people per flight. So it's really just a small airport, and it is served by ATR-42 primarily. Now, the airport during the daytime doesn't look bad. It looks quite nice, actually. Let's go see what it looks like at night, but I think I can already tell. This is... Okay, let's just go. This is the land of... there we go. That would be better. So, sort of usable, as you can see. There's very clear taxiway markings, and the taxiways have center line lights and edge lights. So you can navigate. Where you will get into trouble is the usual Achilles heel of all of these Microsoft default airports, which is once you get to the tarmac, where do you go? How do you park? I would not know what to do. It would be difficult for someone to navigate here and know that they have to turn right over here, and then off to the right is an apron that they can park on. As you can see, the apron is totally dark. We are in there somewhere. There, I think there we are. So this is going to be super difficult to park. So I think the default airport merits a 1.0, not more than that. However, as luck would have it, this airport, Orland Airport, actually has a freeware on flightsim.to. So give us a minute and we will be right back and take a look at the freeware next. And we are back over to ENOL airport, Orland Airport in Norway. So let's see what this freeware version looks like. Looks to be quite cleaned up, at least in this view. But let's just see what it actually ends up looking like once we get loaded. Um, as I mentioned earlier, small airport, not too many flights, essentially one flight by Danish Air Transport um, operating an ATR42. And let's just see what they have done with it. So this is a freeware of a flightsim.to. And from what I can see already, they have cleaned things up quite well. Let's get the light a little bit more favorable. There we go. Okay, so there's the apron, commercial apron. They've added lights to it, ground markings to it, no-go areas, etc., etc. There is a little building over there with fire trucks. Okay, more buildings. Let's see, where is the small... Okay, so I don't actually see necessarily where the terminal building is, but it is a very small terminal building. From what I can see on Google Maps, the terminal building itself is super small, but all in all, this has been cleaned up quite well. This is the military apron, so they have added some military aircraft, looks like an Airbus A400. They've added some ground clutter, etc., etc. So they have made some good changes. I don't really know which one is the actual quote unquote terminal building, but I am guessing on it being this little one here in the middle, but I could be wrong. If anybody knows, please do comment. But let's take a look and see what it looks at night. This looks great during the day, but what does it look like at night when it is pitch black outside? And it is not pitch black here. Nicely lit, nicely lit up, nicely marked, easy enough for somebody to navigate. There's the military apron, that looks easy enough. There are signs. This has been elevated to a level, I'd say 3.5 would actually be a good one in case you're operating here uh, with Danish Air Transport. Then this is quite easily a level 3.5. I think I will give it a 3.5 and I will stick with a 3.5 for this one. This has been cleaned up quite nicely, and it's a good job. There'll be links in the description so you can go download this airport if you're ever flying in this area. And I think with that we can wrap up this episode of Around the World with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, the ultimate review. Uh, Please do like, share, and subscribe. It does help us a lot. And we will see you on the next one with another airport. And it should be out in a day or two. See you soon. Bye.